met you on a melody, strangers with harmony. Tiny frame, big voice, sang like you were part of me. No center late nights, laughs in the dome lights. Thought maybe this was fate, maybe this was our time. Heart in my hands, I tried to play it brave. Told you how I felt, but you didn't feel the same. And it hit me like a train, silence in the rain. But I smiled through the pain, cause I couldn't let you fade. Yeah, it's not like hell, but I stayed. Even when it hurt just to see your face. In the group chat, in the same space, acting like I didn't still reply. What if we were more than a song? What if I said let's play the cool along? What if timing was wrong? Or maybe I was. Guess we'll never know what it was, only what it wasn't. Still hear your voice on the breeze, still think of you when I'm scrolling through repeats. It's no, but it used to be. And sometimes I wonder, what if you loved me? Time passed and the fight dimmed down. You became a page in the back of the sound. But we laughed again, found some common ground. You were never mine, but you still stuck around. You tell me about your crushes, I pretend not to care. Every smile cut deep, but I wouldn't dare say a word, cause friends was all we were. And I'd rather have that than nothing, I swear. It's no regret, just a little ache. A question mark I still can't erase. You're the echo in a song that never got to play. But I'm glad you stayed, even if it ain't the same. What if we were more than a song? What if I said let's play the cool along? What if timing was wrong? Or maybe I was. Guess we'll never know what it was, only what it wasn't. Still hear your voice on the breeze, still think of you when I'm scrolling through repeats. It's no, but it used to be. And sometimes I wonder, what if you loved me? What if you loved me? I moved on in your memory now. Sometimes I still listen to what if out loud. Not with pain, just with peace somehow. 'Cause loving you once still matters now. I just wanna know if you feel it building, 'cause I don't wanna cave too soon. I've been on fire, the flames are working through my body and mind when I'm with you. So reach out for me, won't let you fall. 'Cause every breath with you, it feels like home. Like home, home. Every breath with you, it feels like home. In this space, there's something missing. All the part of me that I gave to you. I never realized I've been losing ground till you're tethered, pulling me back to earth. So reach out for me, won't let you fall. 'Cause every breath with you, it feels like home. Like home. what's broken. Repeat the same mistake until I lose my breath. I can't seem to let you go. Been here before, so many times fell for your lies. I can't see clear down. Oh, and I promised forever. So if it's now or never, won't you say one more night? Hold me in your arms for the last time. One last night, one last try. Kiss me slow before goodbye. We both know we can't rewind. One last night, try to look away, but your voice keeps calling. Caught inside the flames, I can't escape. I'm still lost inside your hold. Been here before, too many nights relieved. Your lies, I can't see clear now. Oh, and I promise forever. So if it's now or never, won't you say one more night? Hold me in your arms for the last time. One last night. One last try. Kiss me slow before goodbye. We both know we can't rewind. One last night, one last try. Baby, do you think of me? Rooftop, summer heat. Tell me, does it burn? Thinking about the red wine cigarettes, giving me your shirt. Baby, are you losing?
All right. Let's go, boys. We're here. We're back. We're here jumping into chat. Once again, reminder, Utah Jazz got the number 2 pick. Let's go. It's only been a little over 24 hours, still fresh. Thought we'd jump in, talk a little more in depthly about at least the top 4 guys that we're going to be looking at. Yeah. Watch some videos, see other people's mock drafts, just do some general scrolling and chatting. Let me hurry and check my audio, because I think I fixed my gain. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's fixed. We're good. We're chilling, boys. We are chilling. And then did a little bit of fixing color-wise of my layout. I had the ugly yellow, dude. This fucking gross-ass ugly... Where is it? That yellow, dude. Had to get that blue in here. You know what I mean? That blue and purple, that's what we are. Had to get it in there. Yeah, dude. Let me turn the volume down a little bit more on that. Figure we can start off with the GOAT, David Locke. Watch his reaction to the lottery. Should probably turn the volume down a little bit on it. But this was his reaction to us jumping in the lottery. Pretty sweet.
So this should go Chicago, Memphis, Utah, Washington. Chicago. Give me Chicago. Yes! Give me Memphis. Yeah! Yeah! All right. All right.
There you go. Obviously, it would have been nice to get that number 1 pick, but you can dream. You can only dream, guys. You know what I mean? It doesn't always work out that way. Yeah. Oh well. Shout out Dave Locke. Yeah. Here's what we can watch. In fact, get that back pulled up. There we go. We can watch. I haven't even watched this yet. This is from CBS Sports. They dropped this. What? How many hours ago? Does it say? Am I blind? 4 days ago. Okay. Best fits for each player. I don't want to watch that actually. Let's do. What can we watch? Let's watch Kenny Beecham's, dude. The GOAT, Kenny Beecham. Now it's 50 minutes. We can't watch that. Come on, boys. Come on, YouTube. Suggest me something small. Some little clip of somebody talking about the draft. In fact, let's just search Utah Jazz, dude. I'm sure something will pop up. We already watched this with Mac. I watched it with earlier, I think with MacV, but we can get into it. We can watch it.
Now is a guy who got fined this year because he was trying to maybe sweeten the lottery pot.
Yeah.
To move up in the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who owns the Utah Jazz and the number 2 overall pick in this year's NBA draft, Mr. Ryan Smith.
Yeah, Ryan.
The GOAT. Ryan Smith, the GOAT.
What's up, boys?
Congratulations on the number 2 overall pick. We like this, right? This is good because
Yeah, there's no question. Anytime you move up in the draft, I just heard Kevin, like, you know, first of all, I empathize for him because I felt that 3 times sitting in that room. That feeling sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's hard for the fan base. It's hard for the season. And look, after 3 tries, we're on the other side of it. So it felt pretty good.
I like that. Your luck is slightly different than Simon's. 37 years never hitting it. Year 4 here, you get a chance to move up to number 2. The big conversation is AJ out there at BYU, obviously. He's not going to be a Utah Jazz player because he's the clear-cut number 1. But then there's maybe a little bit of a conversation. Hold on now. Number 2 overall pick with something else is quite a little
Dude, he was so
package to
unhappy.
maybe
Look
move
at
up
him.
just 1 spot with Washington. The rumors already starting, especially with the ties to the number 1 overall pick in the state that you love and have developed so much. What are your thoughts on it all, and where do we sit as of this particular day with your thoughts on what can happen with the number 2 overall pick?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, I've hired a pretty good team here that works with Danny Ainge and Austin, and, you know, they've got a pretty good track record of how they handle the lottery, and there's a lot
I
of
gotta
time.
pause this. Anybody else notice how his earpods are sitting out of his ears? Why are they like 90 degrees almost out of his ear? They should be. Whatever, Ryan. You do you. You're a billionaire. You can do what you want.
Between now and then to see how things go. I think our ultimate goal is to build a championship, and it'd be irresponsible if everything wasn't on the table to do that, and that's kind of our job. As an owner myself, you know, it's a real interesting thing because I want to be involved, but Danny's also made a living off over-involved owners, right? And so I always try to sit back and say, hey, look, these guys are here. We haven't even gotten together yet. They're all in Chicago. I'm heading there, and like we'll sit down and like we'll go through it. But the good news is, I think that if you look at the bottom half of this or the top half of this draft, it's pretty incredible. And you know, you're looking out and you're saying, hey, there could be, you know, a few, you know, 7 to 10 time All-Stars.
Well, congratulations to your team hitting this and moving up in the draft, and the Utah Jazz seemingly being on the up and up because it wasn't too long ago where you were getting fined for being ass.
Yeah.
On purpose. They said this guy's team too ass at the wrong times. They got to be trying to lose. You benefit from this, and we talked to you after the season about the fine, and you talked about like, oh, I created this. What are we even talking about in this entire thing? But certainly a problem. I hope it gets addressed. Now, you said in that conversation as well, you're at a point where you're out of that. You feel good about what you kind of had to go through here the last few years as you try to find a winner out there and you trust Danny Ainge's vision. You still feel like that right now? And how good of a payoff is it that the number 2 overall pick is kind of the final piece of the pie, maybe?
Yeah, you know, my comment to you guys was just, it's rebuilding. We're all rebuilding in the NBA. And I think if you look at Washington, if you look at Chicago, if you look at Memphis, right or wrong, these are rebuilding teams that, depending on how long each of them have been in that, have a chance to kind of get out of that. And I think we're one of those.
Okay.
And so, the league is talk to all of us. The cool thing I've always said about this league is we make changes. I don't want to be a part of an organization that it's, hey, it was done this way in 1980. We're doing it this way going forward. The world's changed, media's changed, television changed, the players have changed. So it's like, hey, how do we adopt and go forward? And I think that all the right discussions are happening. I personally thought the lottery obviously was good yesterday, but I thought more than that, I thought the right teams, for the most part, were able to do it. Super empathetic of Brooklyn and Sacramento have kind of been down there for a little bit, and I've been there. Like, it's a hard feeling, and you're kind of looking there like, how do I get out of this in a little bit of a way? So I think that with some rules and some protections and how we deal with unprotected picks or protected picks.
Still can't believe it jumped up, by the way. Still unbelievable.
And some of these things, like, we could really be on the right track, because I mean, it is made for television. That video you were talking about with the Indiana kid, like, the amount of videos I've seen of Utah fans, like, every pick, to the point where, someone flips over Sacramento that's purple as well. And, like, my son's, like, whole world, he started screaming, and then it was like, no, that was another team. And we're not cheering, but everyone is following along on the edge of their seat. It's insane. And, you can see Keontae. Keontae didn't show 1 ounce of emotion one way or the other. He's just sitting there like this, and it was good vibes. So,
locked in.
I think we got to the point.
Locked in at number 2. Wizards end up with the number 1 overall pick, or maybe not. Maybe there's a trade beforehand. All options on the table. You never know what's going to happen. But sitting at number 2 currently could be very interesting.
We'll get into those trade ideas, dude. We can move up. It might happen. Who knows?
Interesting. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Ryan. Some of my favorite theories on the internet revolve around who the Jazz are going to take, and coming in at number 1 is Carlos Boozer is going to make you take his son. Is that something that you have to kind of make him leave the room when you're talking about Boozer?
I'll just read his scouting report on all the players.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, Booze already texted me this morning. Let's go. Like, Booze is a pro. He understands this. And, he's raised a couple great kids. Like, these kids are winners, and they've shown who they are. And he's got to be pretty proud right now as a parent, no matter how it shakes out. And like I said, there's a lot of pasture between here and the lotteries we've seen before. I mean, you look back to Danny in the past with having the number 1 pick in Boston with Markelle Fultz and Jason Tatum. You look at how this goes, a lot of stuff will shake out. And I think our job, and I think everyone's job, is to try to be as open as you can as you go through this. I mean,
good.
And good.
Yeah, be good for sure. But also, let's be very transparent with what's possible here. And you're sitting in a great position, Ryan, and we think you've earned it, and you deserve it, because you took a lot of heat.
I appreciate that, guys.
And before we pivot to the other league that you're also involved with, last question here about NBA. Pretty topical. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, obviously NFL, and they got it sorted out with their refs, but it's been a lot of conversation about the refereeing in one of your leagues as far as, flopping and all these different types of things. How do you feel about the status of the referees in your league, and do you guys have some plans to talk about some things this offseason?
Yeah, it's hard, especially with replays and everything. I mean, I thought the crew last night with the Wembanyama, like, they made a tough call, and I think it was obviously the right call. Like, it's hard to be a ref. It's getting super physical, as you can see. I mean, first of all, like, I watch every game. Like, I'm a Hoops fan through and through. Like, it was. These games are awesome.
Awesome.
Like, that game was an awesome game last night.
How about Ann Edwards turning
fan.
that thing on, too, immediately afterwards on Mother's Day, shouting out his mom who's passed, his grandma who's passed from draft night. He was actually sitting on his couch in Atlanta with pictures of his mom and his grandma next to him alongside the rest of his family. And then on Mother's Day to just absolutely go crazy, like 14 days after hyperextending his knee and getting a bone bruise. It's like Wemby obviously showcasing a side of him that we didn't know he had. Wow, 7'4" monk hanging out guy is an absolute fluid dog as well. It's like your league's filled with special stories, man. Very special stories.
Yeah, and these guys are smart and they're athletic, and the coaches are smart, and the data and the analytics, like it's just you've got to keep tweaking it and keep evolving. And there'll be a lot of meetings, but it's tough to go through any NBA game where you're like, okay, everyone got it right. Like the players don't get it right, the refs don't get it right all the time. But I think, I'll just be honest, one of the things I do love about the NBA is the amount of replay that we can go back and look at times on these critical calls. Like, there are other leagues where a game's decided by something that wasn't accurate, and I think that's where we're trying to work a little bit.
Are you talking about VAR in soccer?
No, that was the right call. That was the right call.
VAR.
Come on, you
Hey,
guys.
the soccer this past week.
Hey, it's dealer's choice on where you want to go with that, but like, it is.
True.
It is like there's some where I think in the NBA, it gets down to the last couple minutes, like they can just say, hey, we're gonna go look at it, and.
Also,
with
size of court and in arena can get cameras basically on everything. And I appreciate that you guys are humble enough, and the refs over there who've been around forever. I like the brothers.
Tony Brown.
Yeah, Tony.
I've been in the league longer than you.
I'll get you.
Hey, I'm a little bit more part of this league than you are. You need to watch your actions.
It's also weird is when you're not involved with it. It's always like different, but then like if that's our team and we're on the court, you're gonna see me like going a totally different direction here.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah.
That's honestly like I think that's how everyone is. Like you're in the draft room, it's hell, it's broken. Like you move up, it's like
it's great. This ain't rigged. This ain't how it's supposed to go. You move up to 2. I like the way we're doing this. I kind of don't.
Well, it's human nature, and there's just so much on the line for everybody, and you try to remove yourself and take a step back. And watching some of the guys in the draft room last night, knowing what that feels like, I'm trying to be like, okay, wait, as we go into the rule changes and everything else, like how do we not just pick something that's current or you're fighting your last battle? It's got to be like, okay, what's out there? Because at the end of the day, we all own 3% of the league. And that's how you got to look at it, as opposed to just, hey, we own the Utah Jazz or the Knicks or we're over here. It's like there is
you
a
got
time
to pitch
to put
that.
the NBA.
You got to pitch that. Salt Lake City, Utah owner, for sure. This has been bad since the beginning of time with leagues, okay? Cities in the middle of the country, looking at the coastal elitist teams. Hey, Are we a league here, or are we?
We're all equal.
There's Jerry Jones's stories from the beginning of the collective bargaining agreements and how the Cowboys are viewed versus everybody else. Wait, so you're telling me my team's going to be funded? Everybody's team?
Excuse me?
We need you if you want a league to happen. We kind of need you. I'll think on it. I will think on it. Well, I'm going to sign this side deal here, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign this side deal here. I got to do it.
My network.
Quarterbacks were doing it with players. I mean, it happens everywhere. Now, let's go to another league that you are obviously in and having quick success.
All right, that's enough. He'll start talking about the Mammoth here, but this is not a Mammoth live stream. We'll do those eventually. Like, you can't see it, but I have a Mammoth jersey hanging on the wall over there. Mammoth till I die. Big Mammoth fan. But we're not talking about them today. So, that is not what we are doing. What else do we have? Any kind of small little clippy clips that we can watch? No. Most of the stuff is too long for us to watch. I don't really want to watch any of that right now. We can watch the Keontae George interview.
Keontae, the Jazz have been the number 2 pick in this year's draft. What's your reaction when you found this out?
Well, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, just sitting there, not really knowing, and then 4 goes by, 3 goes by, like, dang, we might get the #1 pick. But no, it was just like a suspenseful moment, just because I don't know, I just didn't know. But this is good for our organization. Good for up top. Get the opportunity to do what they do best, obviously. But yeah, no, it should be good for us.
Okay, you're sitting right here on stage, but I want to know, what are you looking at in the crowd waiting for this pick to come out?
I'm looking at, DA giving me a little smirk, Jay-Z, AB Bradley. Yeah, they was just when I walked up on stage, you know, AB gave me a little look. He was like, "Ah, you look nice." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." But yeah, I was looking at our people for sure.
Okay, we know there's something really special being built in Utah. And you guys have some awesome pieces, including yourself on this team. And now you're going to add the number 2 pick in the draft. How much does that excite you for next year?
It's real exciting. You know, just because the type of talent, you know, knowing the type of talent that we can add to the group. You know, like I said before, Up Top has, I mean, you know, I have the most confidence in them just because I know they'll find the right guy to, you know, fit our team, fit our culture, you know, gel with the program, you know, right away. And I know as a group, you know, in the locker room, you know, we're going to make sure, you know, that he comes in, you know, ready to roll, understanding, you know, what our culture is and, you know, how we operate. But no, it's going to be fun. You know, the changes we made, adding Trip, you know, the people that we still have, and I think it'll be fun. I think the city deserves, you know, for us to finally to, you know, kind of, you know, take off.
Yeah, no, this is a fun time in Utah. Exciting.
There you have it, baby. Rich Eisen, 6 minutes. We can watch Rich Eisen for 6 minutes. We can do that.
Being made AJ DeBonce's poker
Love
face,
Rich Eisen.
straight-faced demeanor upon learning that he's been drafted basically by the Washington Wizards. He's the de facto, largely assumed, I think wisely so, first overall selection in this NBA draft, correct?
Yeah, he's minus 500 to go number
Okay,
one.
which means you would win
Bet
5 cents if you bet $1?
Yeah, no, bet $5 to win $1.
Hey, see, I don't do math. Or
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
to do that, or the fact that DeBonce is considered such a favorite?
Bet $5 to win $1.
And everybody's saying that it's the media training. He's been trained to, you know, these kids are all trained to not show any emotion, or because you're media trained. And you know, there's 2 things I have to say about that. One is the straight face, not media trained emotion. I would have loved to have seen if he got drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks, but we'll just leave it at that.
I don't think he can sit there and assume like
No, I just don't know. That was my way of commenting who was there on behalf of the Bucks. But listen, I think the folks in D.C. are going to love this guy, and he's going to love them at the end of the day. It's going to be a friggin' love affair from jump.
Yeah.
From jump. What a position to be in.
The Wizards are now, I don't want to say contenders, but they're not players in the East.
And basically, if you want the first overall selection to drop in your lap, just get Anthony Davis.
That's true, too.
Trade for Anthony Davis.
This is now 3 times this has happened.
By the way, Anthony Davis and Trae Young and this kid in Washington, D.C.
Right?
Who's going to want to go? Everybody in Washington, they are starving for decent basketball, let alone reasons to get excited. So I don't buy it. Plus, I mean, what does that mean? He's media trained. So if he's media trained, I would say look excited because you're going to just make a ton of money.
Well, and also maybe he's a little bummed to not be staying in Utah. I don't know.
Maybe that's true, too.
I doubt that's it.
I don't know. We have no idea. Guess what? We're all reading into it, but I just know it's going to be a love affair there. And speaking of, you know, getting Anthony Davis and get the first overall pick, it's not like the general manager in Washington, D.C. needed to be bailed out anyway, like the way that it seemed like Nico Harrison was for a hot minute in Dallas.
Right.
But this is also something that I had not seen before coming out of a draft lottery. A president of basketball operations of a team apologizing to fans on the spot of the way things worked for the Indiana Pacers. They got hosed by the ping pong balls, and their 5th overall choice does not belong to them because they traded for Zubac at the trade deadline.
Big Zoo.
Biggest mistake in the NBA since Luka Doncic obviously being traded, but maybe other than the Luka Doncic trade, that might have been the worst decision in the last 15 years in the NBA, 10 years. I don't know. I'm sure there's something else, but yeah, giving up the 5th pick this year for Zubac, big mistake, I think. when you could have had both. Like, they probably could have gotten Zubac by trading a future first round pick that would have ended up being like a 18th or 12th or whatever pick in a worse draft. Like, I don't know. Mistakes were made for Indiana.
And at the time, everyone's like, Clippers are waving the white flag and it's not going to work out for them. And what are they doing? Well, Kevin Pritchard, the general manager who trades for Zubac, winds up losing the 5th overall selection. And he also traded away Benedict Mathurin in that trade. And also Isaiah Jackson in that trade. And a first-round pick in 2029 that apparently is not protected, and a 2028 second-round pick. And he apologized to fans. Basically, and he's also appeared, as I noticed, with talking to Vincent Goodwill, because I got my head on a swivel hosting a show like this. You know, Pritchard went on Pat's show. Talk about getting in front of something. Mm-hmm. Like, mea culpa, folks. I know this is not good. I know this is bad. I know we just went through a season where we tanked, and we tanked for nothing. We tanked for nothing.
Thanks for nothing. Thanks for
to go full Caddyshack on you. Their Pacers are not anywhere in the draft order. Nope. It's the Clippers sitting there 5, and I guess Zubac is going to have a lot on his shoulders when he comes back and healthy and he starts playing for the Pacers, and then, you know, Halliburton's going to come back, and they're going to hopefully put Humpty Dumpty back together again with his Achilles. But that's what it looked like to me, was a general manager like, could you imagine if, well, Nico Harrison made the trade to get rid of Luka because they didn't want to pay him. I think it's apples and oranges a little bit here, but the only thing that we're in the same, you know, section of the supermarket here is fans are going to be pissed. Like, I just sat through all of that. Mm-hmm. We just went through all of that, and a lot of it was born out of the untimely Achilles injury on Halliburton's leg, okay? So that forced a hand for the Pacers, and it was the smart hand to play. But do you think if he could wave a wand, you don't trade for Zubac? You make that decision, like, to set yourself up for next year. It's kind of like the Wizards just did. Let's get Young. Let's get Davis. And they wind up with the first-round pick, first overall. Check the box. You tanked properly. And you got ready for next year, and now you're going to get your kid. Pacers try to do it, and it now winds up in the lap of the Clippers. And that's why you start apologizing on the spot. I think that's a smart move. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out.
All right. Well, pretty remarkable. I don't know what to say, dude. We can get into NBA mock drafts. Post lottery. Let's be specific. All right. ESPN, what do you got for us? I think we trust ESPN. I don't know. All right, they got Devontae going 1 to Washington, which obviously I get. We get it. He's a beast, dude. Stupid ad. Stupid ad. It makes sense. He's the safer bet. He may not have the highest ceiling compared to him and Darren Peterson, but
being the number 1 pick matter to you?
Yeah. I've been number 1 since about 9th grade, so when I was 14 years old. I haven't been anything less, no matter if I went down a class or went up a class, so that's definitely a goal of mine.
What does success look like for you at the next level?
Rookie of the year, multiple All-Stars, multiple first-team All-NBAs, multiple championships, multiple Finals MVPs, but the ultimate goal is, like, whatever I gotta do to make the Hall of Fame. And once I get the Hall of Fame speech, I think I'll be certified.
I don't hate that. Let's get out of here. I don't hate that, but I feel like your goal should be winning championships, not the Hall of Fame. Like, the Hall of Fame happens because you win championships and MVPs and like that. I don't know. I just think he worded that probably not the way I would want him to. I don't know. Who do they got? The Jazz taking Darren Peterson. Okay, yep, as expected. Utah was also a major winner, moving up to number 2, which will be its highest selection since 2011. 2011, that was Enes Kanter, right? 2-1. Oh, didn't mean to do that. My bad, boys. My bad, boys. NBA, yeah, the Kyrie Irving draft. Basketball Reference. Yeah, the Enes Kanter draft. Went 3rd. He went 3rd overall. Which sucked, dude, being an Arizona fan, having Derek Williams going 2nd. Now, he didn't pan out. Obviously, Derek Williams was not. In fact, this whole draft, now that I'm looking at it, was not. I mean, Kawhi going 15, Kyrie going 1, Klay Thompson going to 11, Kemba Walker going 9, Jimmy Butler going 30. Who am I missing here? Kenneth Faried, 22nd, if you count Kenneth Faried. Tobias Harris, 19. Amon Shumpert, 17. Nikola Vucevic, 16. The Morris twins, 13 and 14. That's kind of a nice little... And then Alec Burks, it's not a bad little lineup there. Kemba Walker, 9. Fredette, 10. Thompson, 11. Alec Burks, 12. The Morris twins, 13, 14. Kawhi Leonard, 15. Vucevic, 16. Amon Shumpert, 17. And then Tobias Harris, 19. It's a nice little run right there. Reggie Jackson at 24. That's not bad. Anybody in the second round? Bojan Bogdanovic was 31. Gotta like that. Shelvin Mack. I remember Shelvin Mack. I don't think he panned out as well as people wanted him to. Chandler Parsons. Forgot about Chandler Parsons. Davis Bertans, dude. Bertans was in this draft. 2nd round. Good for him. Having this long of a career. Yeah, that's about it, dude. This is the Isaiah Thomas last pick of the draft. Nice. Short little Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, draft years. We go all the way back, dude. 2025, look at it go. Utah Jazz 5th. Ace Bailey, baby. And I still think this is going to be like such a crazy statement. It always will be. As of right now, I would take Ace over VJ. I would take Ace over Dylan Harper. And I think there's an argument that I would take Ace over Colin Knueppel. I know Knueppel had a really good season hitting those threes. Was unbelievable. But I still think that Ace has a higher ceiling. Still. Like, Ace is impressive. Obviously 24. So gross. What a bad year for us. What a bad year for everybody, dude. Cody Williams at 10. Oof. What a bad draft. Oh, what a bad draft. Looking at it, like, ugh. McCain at 16. Buzelis at 11 will be fine. Zach Edey at 9. Obviously, Cody Williams still has potential. He's young. But Ron Holland's really the best player that's probably going to come out of this. Like Alex Sarr, maybe. Alex Sarr he's been doing decent in Washington. But I think Stephon Castle is probably the best. 23, this is the Taylor Hendricks draft. Yeah, dude, this is a good draft. Wembanyama, Miller. I think, and I was talking to Caden about this yesterday. In this Victor Wembanyama draft compared to the draft this year, where I would rank people, I'd have Victor going number 1. Obviously, he's the best draft choice maybe of all time. But I would probably put AJ DeBonsa 2. In fact, I know I would. I'd put Victor 1, DeBonsa 2, Peterson 3, Cam Boozer 4, Caleb Wilson 5 and then Brandon Miller 6 probably. So this loaded Victor Wembanyama draft that everybody talks about, the top 4 in this draft would go 2, 3, 4, 5 in this draft. So, and we get the second best one. Like, it's gonna be great, dude. We're gonna have, and in this draft, if you look back, Keontae George going 16 in a redraft, he'd probably end up going number 2. Like, I think he's better than Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, the Thompson twins, Anthony Black, Koulibaly, like all of these guys. I think Keontae's better than all them. He'd go number 2 in a redraft. So the fact that we'd have number 2 in the redraft of this amazing draft, Ace Bailey, and the number 2 pick in this draft, like, oh man, unbelievable. Unbelievable for us. Yeah, dude. Trying to think, anybody else in this draft kind of turn out well? Trace Jackson Davis, I didn't know he was in this draft. He's all right. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Anyways, back to the mock draft. DP going to us. Peterson opened the season projected the number 1, and despite his stock slipping a touch, NBA teams don't expect him to be on the board for long. He told ESPN's Ramona Shelburne this week that his doctors determined creatine usage played a role in cramping issues that limited him at Kansas, which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm not gonna not believe. I've been taking creatine for 10 years, and I've never had a cramping issue. But I've also never been an athlete running around doing shit, so I get it. I'm sure it does, in a sense, create cramping because water retention and all that kind of weird shit. NBA teams are hoping for further clarity from his medical evaluation and interviews this week at the Combine. A clean bill of health would help assuage lingering concerns and allow teams atop the draft to make a pure basketball decision. Okay. Then they got Cam Boozer going 3 to Memphis. That adds up. That's nothing crazy. He's the safest bet. Yeah. They trade away Jaren Jackson to get Cam Boozer. That's pretty remarkable. Works out really well in their favor. Yeah, I don't know. Boozer in Memphis, I feel bad for him. It's going to suck to be in Memphis, obviously, but whatever. Then, of course, they got Caleb Wilson going 4 to Chicago, which is the exact 4 that pretty much everybody has predicted, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people have Caleb Wilson flopping over, or flipping over Caleb or Cam Boozer. Some people have those two flipping. Some people have us drafting Cam Boozer over Darren Peterson. There's certain situations like that. Some people have Darren Peterson going over AJ DeBonsa, but there's no, not a real discussion of Caleb Wilson going 2, right? Or Cam Boozer going 1, jumping 2 spots. That's not really been a conversation. There's conversations about, guys jumping, flipping spots, but the general consensus is DeBonsa 1, Peterson 2, Boozer 3, Wilson 4. And then Keaton Wagler 5, they've got the Clippers. That's not the consensus here. I think now that it's the Clippers, it's a bit more of a consensus. Clippers, if they keep Kawhi around and they have all that guard depth with Benny Mathurin and Darius Garland and all them, I think it would be smart actually to grab a Keaton Wagler, who is basically the next Klay Thompson is his comp. I don't know if they have comps on him, but yeah. With all that, everything going on, I'm sure I could have read this and it would have been exactly what I said there, but 6'6" shooter. He's perfect for that team. So Keaton Wagler makes sense. Next, here's where Darius Acuff goes. Brooklyn Nets at 6. That's not unsurprising. They need some kind of superstar power, and at this point in the draft, Acuff is your best bet superstar power-wise. In fact, he's more of a superstar than Keaton Wagler, I'd like to believe. But go down. I don't really want to watch all that interview stuff there. Sacramento getting Kingston Flemings at 7, which is sweet because Kingston, Yeah, it says right here, he fell from 5 to 7, literally or the Kings fell from 5 to 7. That's exactly where Kingston Flemings has kind of fallen over the last 3 months. Is he was supposed to go 5th, and then Keaton Wagler started having a really good last couple months, especially he had a good tournament. And Darius Acuff had a good tournament, and he had a good last couple weeks of the season. So that's where Acuff and Wagler kind of jumped him. But Flemings is an unbelievable player. Like, we watched his highlights yesterday in yesterday's stream. Ignored the audio in that. It was trash. My gain was at 100%. Did not know that. I have it turned down a little bit. Still not perfectly fine-tuned, so I'll rewatch the stream later and see if I need to turn it down or up. Kind of figure that out. But yeah, Kingston Flemings going to Sacramento he's sweet, dude. It's like Derrick Rose. Fits perfectly. Hawks getting Mikael Brown at 8. All right, so they're kind of jumping up a little bit here. I like that. Especially them needing a replacement for Trae Young, in a sense. He's not close. I mean, this is right here, moving on from Trae Young. He's not the shooter that Trae Young is, obviously. He's not the passer that Trae Young is, but he might be a better all-around player. I don't know. It's hard to say. At this point in their career, not obviously young Trae Young, but at this point in the career Trae Young compared to this age Mikael Brown, I would take Mikael Brown. So, not a bad situation for Atlanta to be in. Here we go. Dallas. Fuck you, Dallas. You know how it is. Braden Burries, my boy. I think him and Cooper Flagg could be a really good pairing. I've always thought Braden Burries is like Devin Booker to me. In fact, let's look up what his comps are. Braden Burries comps. Bad typing. NBA draft room. What are his comps? Comparisons. What the fuck are we talking about, dude? What is this website? PHNX Sports, I trust them. I don't know when this was. May 1st? Okay. And it's Kevin Thomas. I love Kevin. Kevin's a good guy. So we trust this. What are your comparisons, Kevin? Who do you got? I don't want to watch the whole... Is that what I have to do? Do I have to listen to the whole audio? Name it, Kevin. Whatever. For some reason, they're not going to show me his comps. Yeah, Derek White. That would make sense. A Derek White or a Devin Booker kind of a comparison. Let's try to put Braden Burries, which makes sense. That's what they would need. So whatever. Milwaukee, Nate Ament. We discussed him again yesterday. Nate Ament is kind of he's kind of what John Horst, their GM, is like typically known for drafting. Is like these long, lengthy, like unicorn-esque prototype players. Giannis. Thon Maker, for example. That's just kind of what he's like done historically. So Nate Ament fits that profile exactly. Nate Ament is like a Kevin Durant, Giannis kind of mold player. So them getting him at 10 is really good. And he's young too. I don't know if it says age. How old is Nate Ament? 19. Yeah. December 10th. So it's just, 19 and a half, roughly. So it's a good pick for Milwaukee, considering they didn't jump in the draft or anything. Just they stood where they were. Golden State getting Kareem Lopez. That's very much a Golden State kind of pick. We didn't even see him in our mock yesterday, Kareem Lopez, at all. In fact, there's a lot of these guys they've got going later in the draft here. So I guess we can go over him real quick. Kareem Lopez. He's a good player. I've seen him again going anywhere from like 10 to 25, so you don't know where he's going to go.
And he's just decided to keep it rolling. We're better for it. Nice pass out from PJC. Cash from the corner, Kareem Lopez.
That is a hell of a matchup on speed. Tyson Walker and PJC. These are two speedsters right here. Kareem Lopez must be severely respected. Jesse's height is not an advantage on Max Darling because he's posting up too far as Kareem in
See, that was pretty.
showing that he can finish with contact. Initiated the contact. No foul.
I think in this draft specifically, there are 3 guys that fit this mold here. You've got Cam Boozer, who is going number 1, or top 3. He's going to be the number 1 out of these guys. The Tim Duncan kind of big power forward mold. Then you got Kareem Lopez, who's again going anywhere from 10 to 25. And then you've got Koa Pete, and Koa Pete's going anywhere from 10 to 25 as well. Probably not that high. He's probably going 18 to 25. But yeah, and all 3 of them are very similar in size and like play style and power forward. Like they're the same kind of prototype of a power forward. Like you can just see, like look at Kareem. He's got the handles, big, strong, pretty touch.
Feathery, I think the kids call it on TikTok.
Good baseline cut and great dime.
Bowen tries to get a little too
Good defense. There you go. Great passing.
As easy as you like. Someone who won't be dunking it down.
Great passing.
Have that look in his eye.
Jesse Edwards is still down back there. He's here he is now, but
Good defense, dude.
couple of momentum swings there, but we'll see who can be the most poised to start this third quarter.
And how far can they push this
Ooh,
perfection from the mid-range?
pretty.
Keeps it going, 18 for 18.
There you go. So yeah, there's a chance he goes number 11 to Golden State. So he's a good player. Yeah, they got Lendeborg going 12 to Oklahoma City like they had last night on the mock we looked at. That just seems like the most logical spot for him. He's a senior again. How old is he? 24. He'll be 24. He'll be a 24-year-old rookie, which is not great. Like, for example, how old's Jalen Williams? I think he's probably 23. He's 25. So he's basically the same age as Jalen Williams, and he's just now going to be a rookie. So it's like it's a tough situation. But that makes the most sense. Going anywhere would be Oklahoma City. So he'd fit in well there. Miami getting LeBaron Philon. Talked about him yesterday. Philon's a stud. Him going 13 is unbelievable because I think in most drafts over the last couple of years he'd go top 8. So crazy how good of a draft this is. Philon, again, he's a stud. Watch his tape. He's got a Kyrie Irvingness to him. Really good. Daymara, they got going to Charlotte, which I don't hate, but considering they got Diabate, who I like the Moose. I think Moose is a good player. I would go a different direction if them, especially with Colin Knuppel and all these people I'd go Quaintance for real. If I'm Charlotte and I'm going to center here, I'm going Quaintance. Quaintance is way more dynamic. Or like Christian Anderson, I don't hate. Maybe for Charlotte, I wouldn't hate a Steinbeck for Charlotte. Like Steinbeck is the Colin Knuppel of this draft, kind of like the prototypical white boy that stands in the corner, shoots, and whatever. Yeah, not great from the 3. There are varying opinions on his defense and shooting. Yeah, but doesn't matter. Cam Carr's good. Sinak's a good player. Mo Johnson's a stud. Everybody saw Mo Johnson in the championship game. Mo Johnson's a beast. Ben Sturtz is a good player. He's not. Knock on wood. I'm not going to speak too soon. I don't see him lasting too long in the league. But then again, T.J. McConnell's had a 10-year career, so anything can happen. In fact, T.J. might be in year 11 or 12 at this point. But yeah, Ben Sturtz, Alan Graves, he's decent. Atlanta's got another pick here, Isaiah Evans. Isaiah Evans is good if you watch any Duke stuff. Here's where they got Koa Pete going to Knicks at 24, which is too bad because his pre-draft, I don't know if it says it here, he was going like 8th. Like, let's see if we can look that up actually. NBA 2026 mock draft preseason. show me. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah. Koa Pete going 24, like that's a steal in my opinion. I think Koa's a stud. Vasar going 25. I think Vasar's a really good player as well. He was a developmental project, but this last year at North Carolina, he was pretty good. So I understand him going 25th. I could also see him going in the middle of the second round. So Vasar is a certain situation, but him going to the Lakers makes sense because they need center depth, and Vasar at 25 is pretty good for them. Swain going 26 to Denver. I like that. I don't know Amari Allen. I've seen Alabama play, so I don't know why I wouldn't know who Amari Allen is, but for some reason does not ring a bell to me. Abuka Akori, again, doesn't really ring a bell to me. Haven't seen any tape. At this point in the draft, like 27th pick, 28th pick, like this doesn't matter to us. We're not going to be watching or drafting any of these guys, but it is what it is. Thomas to Cleveland, Josh Jefferson to Dallas. I like Josh Jefferson. I think he's a really fundamentally good player, power forward for Iowa State. He's a solid player. Again, I only really know the Big 12 players, the guys I know the best, unless you're a top 15 player. If you're a top 15 player, I know you, but outside of that, I don't really know unless you're Big 12. Then they got Knicks, Caravan going to Memphis, Yesufu going to the Nets, Braden Smith going to the Celtics. Alright, Jaden Bradley going 51 to the Wizards. I like Bradley. They got Richie Saunders going to LA at 52. So that's nice. Bradley and Richie Saunders going 51-52. Gets them drafted. Andrei Stojakovic, he's going 53. That's Paige's son. I like that. They got Kylan Boswell going 56. That's nice. A couple of years ago, he was supposed to be a top 20 pick, and he just did not perform at Arizona, and then he transferred to Illinois, did not perform, and then this year he obviously had a good enough year to jump into the draft. Uzan going 59th. I like that. But yeah, not a bad little mock draft they got going here on ESPN. Post lottery odds they got to get in. They got us taking Darren Peterson, who we love. Let's just Darren Peterson, Jazz jersey. Spell that correctly. Images, pull it up, baby. There it is. I don't know why I want YouTube. Nope. We'll watch that later on my own because I think it's like an hour-long video. Great thumbnail though. Boom. Darren Peterson and the Jazz, dude. Gotta love it. Absolutely gotta love it. Yeah, dude. That's pretty much it. Obviously, nobody jumped in today. It's understandable. We were live during rush hour on a Monday, so I understand why people were not watching. Also, again, second day, so whatever. We move, we ball. Appreciate you guys for rewatching this. You guys that didn't catch it live. But yeah. I see somebody just jumped in. I apologize. We're just now ending. We've been live for how long have we been live for? A little over an hour. Yeah, just a little discussion again. Just kind of going over what happened again yesterday. Gonna do it again tomorrow. Maybe even later tonight. I might do a little gaming stream. See what happens. But yeah. Thanks for hanging out, boys. Catch you tomorrow or tonight again. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash the like button. Always appreciated. Comment down below what you guys think. Follow me on Twitter. That's down below. Yeah. Go Jazz. Go Jazz. Much love, everybody. See you later.